Hey, what's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, checking out the Going Gear EDC Club Premium subscription for August of 2024. If this is your first time seeing this one, they do offer two tiers. Your standard, which is $60 a month plus shipping, gets you 2 to 5 EDC items. Or you can opt for the premium, that one's $200 a month plus shipping, gets you all of the items in your standard plus 1 to 2 additional items, usually with a bit of a higher price tag. So let's dive in, see what they sent over for August of 2024. We'll start with the standard, work our way from the lowest value item up to the highest value before moving into the premium. As usual, I'll get this out of the way. Already have everything unpackaged so you don't have to watch me fumbling trying to get things open. Item number 1 in the standard is the Going Gear SWAT flame patch. This is one of the alternate versions of the Going Gear logo, been completely blacked out. And this is just a PVC patch, Velcro back, so you can slap it on any of your hook and loop panels on your bags or pouches. Valued at $2.95. I think a pretty good looking patch overall. I like getting these kind of things in here, especially when they're not eating up a whole lot of the value. At $2.95, if you remove this from the standard, we'd still be getting an excellent value. So I think it's kind of cool to get these random accessories that maybe you wouldn't purchase otherwise, but now you have them to slap on. And so item number 2. Lumentop Frog 2.0, valued at $37.90. This is an ultra tiny flashlight from a brand that I'm somewhat familiar with, but this is my first Lumentop branded flashlight. The other one that I have is branded under Countycom. It's the Peanut Beast, but was OEM'd by Lumentop, and in fact has a lot of similarities to this one. So this is ultra tiny, like I said, probably under 2 inches in length, but it has a 600 lumen output, which is cool. One thing I learned about the Peanut Beast is to store it with the body turned a quarter of a turn counterclockwise so that the battery is not making contact. The reason for that, and I'm going to twist it clockwise so that you can see when it does make contact, that light will flash on for just a second, showing that contact's been made. And then now you can see this LED indicator on the button itself. And so that's pretty cool. It's showing that it's drawing power from the battery. The downside though is that that's always on and always drawing battery. So you can't just store this like this. If you do 2 or 3 days later, this is going to be completely dead and unusable. And so you want to store it turned a quarter of a turn. But if you're going to be using it all day, you can just leave it fully twisted if you have the battery for it. Now that does erase your memory mode when you disconnect that contact, so it won't remember what mode you left off in if you're disconnecting it each time. But if you're leaving it, it does have a memory mode. Simple operation on this, I think I'm actually, yeah, that's in low. Here we go. So simple operation on this, you just click it to turn it on. There's 5 modes. I only know how to access 3 off the box. I haven't read the instructions yet, but I will figure that out before making the video. But to turn it on, you just click it. It goes on into whatever mode you left it in. You can click it again to cycle into the next mode. We're up to medium, again up to that 600 lumen high mode. So ultra high output for such a small flashlight, really impressive. If I turn it off here by holding it for a second and turn it back on, it's gonna go back on where we left it because of that memory mode, and you can click it again to start cycling again. So it's a pretty simple operation in that regard. Again, I'll figure out the last 2 modes later. I'm guessing one's a strobe mode, maybe there's like a turbo mode that I'm not sure of, but $37.90 for this one. IP68 protection, that's gonna be with your waterproofing and your dust proofing, and just a really small form factor. It comes with a carabiner in case you want to attach it to your keychain. In fact, I probably will attach it to my keychain after this video and maybe do a review of the one that's currently on my keychain pretty soon. Comes with a carabiner, comes with a USB-C cord, as well as this adapter for charging. And this is similar to the Peanut Beast. If you saw that video, you remove the head of your flashlight, attach this to it, and then plug the USB-C there. Charge the battery right inside the flashlight. You just have to make sure, obviously, to keep track of that head since it won't be attached while you're charging. One of the things I was worried about with the Peanut Beast was losing this charger or losing the head. Really hasn't been an issue. When I'm charging it, I keep the head right next to the body. When I'm not charging it, I keep the adapter right next to the rest of my flashlights and have not lost track of it yet. Will be interesting to see if this one's compatible with the other. I don't even know if they're the same size. The other one has a little bit of a larger head, but a similar size adapter. So we'll definitely have to test that out as well. But really cool to see in here, and maybe the start of a theme, as you'll see. So next up, our last item in the standard, and then we have 2 more in the premium, so 3 items left to see. Last item in the standard though is the Concept Dash. This is valued at $72, another ultra mini item, this one a pocket knife, and you can see even next to that flashlight, it's not huge. These are really small items. So if you're looking to start a micro EDC sub collection, you're off to a pretty nice start with this standard. But this is valued at $72. It's got these micarta scales, which aren't ultra grippy. They're pretty slick overall. Also really small. We have a thumb disc deployment on here, so you can either slow roll that out. I was able to Spidey flick it. I'm not sure how consistently I'll be able to do that, but you can get your nail under that thumb disc and just kind of flick it out. My thumb actually hit the thumb disc there, so if I move, there we go, able to flick that out. Has a liner lock on there. Dirk Pinkerton design, I believe, yeah, which we've gotten in going gear before. And again, that thumb disc deployment. Now, this is modeled after a traditional Japanese kiridashi. The only other kiridashi in my collection came in another going gear box, probably like, I want to say maybe 3 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was before I started the channel, and that one was by Cold Steel, a lot larger than this. But these kiridashis are basically utility knives. They don't have replaceable blades, but they're optimized for those utility cuts and can be used in the same capacity. This one's valued at $72 and kind of an ultra premium version of a kiridashi with the micarta scales and the 154 cm on the steel. I also like that thumb disc. It's only my second knife with the thumb disc, and the first one I got, I realized that I really enjoy that as a landing spot. So although we don't have jumping here, put your thumb on that thumb disc, and it's just a nice place to get a little bit extra pressure on the spine of the blade, and it's not as sharp as pressing on the spine of the blade because you have this nice flat landing spot. So definitely a cool one. This is going to be a great one to just toss on your desk, toss next to wherever you keep your mail, or even keep it on your keychain. See this oversized lanyard slot, so you can definitely attach a lanyard here as well. And then we have that liner lock once again. So I'm someone who likes these kind of mini EDC items. I'm really into smaller EDC items. So I'm a big fan of this month's standard, but I could see someone who's not maybe being the opposite and really not enjoying this month. But you can see we're barely even taking up any room on the screen right now for our standard items. That's all three we got this month at $112.85. Again, you pay $60 for the standard subscription, so pretty great value there. We got 2 items in our premium this month. So first up, this one easily could have been a standard item, but I think makes more sense in the premium anyway because it would have taken up a lot of the value. That's the Spyderco Bead Beadly. I don't know how they want to pronounce this. They spelled bead and then the number 2 and then the letters LY. This is a pewter Spyderco bead. You can see it's been cast with a bunch of these Spyderco logos on here on a 7-inch paracord lanyard with this kind of intricate knot all the way down it. And so a really cool item, but it valued at $30.80. For people who don't put beads on their EDC gear, that might seem astronomical. For people that do, it may seem pretty reasonable, especially for a metal bead. When you get into the more premium metals like titanium and zirconium, I've seen beads going for 3-4 times the cost retail and sometimes even more on the secondary. So it does seem a little bit reasonable. It's also a little bit pricey for me for beads because I'm just now starting to get into them. I want to start adding them to smaller knives like the dash that we see here. But I think this is a little bit of a large pull for me. I think 7 inches, this is probably good for a keychain, maybe less so for a tiny knife that's bigger than the entire knife. So may end up removing, which is a shame because then I have to destroy this big old knot, but may end up removing it and replacing it with my own. But I did say I was getting into beads recently. These are more my speed. These ones are just plastic. They're from Workerman. The 6-pack I think was like $20, and so 6 of them for less than the price of that Spyderco bead. This one is probably a more pricey version. This one from Postmortem, I think this was also about $20. It does come with a lanyard, but also about $20. And then I ordered a bunch of mystery beads from them, which I believe were also $20. These ones did not come with the lanyard. Me and my wife tied these ones off, but I got 5 beads for that. You didn't get to choose them, obviously, being a mystery bundle, but definitely more my speed when it comes to beads. I still think this is kind of a cool item. I'm sure there's Spyderco collectors that would like this, and in fact, I'm probably going to remove this and add this to one of my smaller Spydercos with a shorter lanyard attachment to it, but that's valued at $30.80. Now our last item, our main premium item for the month is from Benchmade, American made of course, and we got the mini Tagout this time around. Model 15533, and this has grivery handles, a clip point blade. This is in the bug out family, ultra lightweight, has this beautiful clip point though, and kind of more made for outdoors. This is in their hunt series instead of like the black box or blue box series, which I think the bug out is in the blue box series. And so this is in the hunt series, has that clip point blade, CPM 154 cm, thumb hole for the deployment, which works great for Spidey flicking. We have our access lock, which took a little bit of breaking in. Out of the box it was really stiff, but after flicking it maybe 20 times it broke right in. But really great action on it now, valued at $171. Has these grivery scales, which are great. They're high vis, ultra lightweight. I weighed this one in at 1.7 ounces before making the video, so ultra lightweight. And again, if you drop this in the dirt, it's going to be easy to find, not only because it's bright orange, but it's also UV reactive. So I grabbed a UV light here, and if you hit that with UV, you can see just how much that glows, and super reactive, easy to see under that UV light. And so that's a really kind of nice addition to the Hunt series, because not only can you find it in the light, if you have a UV light and you drop it, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb as soon as the UV hits it. Now, worth noting, we have gotten the full-size tagged out in a previous box from Going Gear. So this is the mini tagged out. I didn't measure it out. I don't think it says it here on the note. It doesn't, and so I'll have to do that in the full video. But this is the full-size tagged out that we got in a previous Going Gear, and you can see significantly larger than our mini tagged out. And so a pretty nice difference. Obviously the exact same shape. You can see identical materials here, obviously going to be UV reactive as well, just scaled down a bit. And so sticking with that mini theme that started in the standard. And so I think it's cool that we got both of them in here. I know Skibby did a video, he swapped out his scales on the full-size tagged out for the AWT scales, and he mentioned recently to me that I should check them out. He really enjoys them, and so I may do that, but I don't think I've ever seen mini tagged out AWT scales. It may be because this model is newer and we could get them in the future, but will be something to look out for. I think it would be kind of cool to keep them matching. The main reason I actually haven't swapped out the scales on the other one is I like how lightweight it is, but this one's even lighter, again at 1.7 ounces. And so that brings the total value for all of the items in the premium and standard to $314.65. So my benchmark for good value is when we get 150%. So that's over that 150% threshold, or yeah, over our 150% threshold. And I think really cool items overall. If I had to scrap one of them, it would probably be the Spyderco Bead, but honestly not mad at that either. I'm sure I'll get my use out of it. It's just taking up a lot of value dollar-wise. So I'm glad that one was in the premium, because the standard, they have to stick to a kind of lower value since you're only paying $60 for it. That would have eaten up a big percentage of our standard, but I really don't mind seeing it in the premium box. Would love to hear your thoughts on this one down in the comments below. I think a really strong month. I'm a big fan of it. I love that it has sort of a theme with those mini items, and because I like smaller items, I think it's pretty cool, but would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. As usual, if you enjoyed the video, consider liking, commenting, subscribing, joining the channel as a member. All help the channel out a ton, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.